Okay, Trump for a third term?
Hi, beautiful people. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by, supporting your girl once again on this channel. So, all credits goes to the creators in this video. So, guys, in today's video,
Yep, you heard me right. But here we go. According to NBC News' Kristen Welker of Meet the Press, she had an exclusive telephone interview with Trump today, and they discussed a variety of subjects, including the possibility of him running for a third term. Even though it's prohibited by the Constitution under the 22nd Amendment, do you think that's going to throw the Trump team off of that? I think not. Amending the Constitution to abolish a two-term limit would be exceedingly difficult. It would require two-thirds vote of Congress or two-thirds of the states agreeing to call a constitutional convention to propose the changes. And either way, it would then require ratification from three-quarters of the states. So, according to him, he's doing this because people are wanting him to do it. I know there are various methods, he says, but it's way too early in my administration to think that far ahead. Well, Kristen Welker tried to press him on that. Like, are you kidding me? No, I'm not kidding you, he says. Well, what kind of methods? Can you give me an example of another method? Would it be like J.D. Vance running and then turning it over to you? Yeah, that's one method. Well, can you give me another method? How would you see this? No, I can't tell you. But there's other methods. Well, I don't know, folks. Is this a distraction? I think not. He's floating the concept now so that it's not shocking later on. Meanwhile, his team is working 24 hours a day to completely reshape our entire government structure. In the meantime, people are going to suffer. People are already suffering. And it's only going to continue to get worse. Including now, they're discussing doing away with portions of the Constitution. So keep an eye on this, folks. This is going to be a story to watch. In the meantime, peace.
Donald Trump is not joking about seeking a third term in office, claiming there are methods that would allow him to go against the Constitution. Under the 22nd Amendment, no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. But Trump's repeatedly commented about plans to stay in power, and in an interview with NBC, confirmed it's not a joke. So how could he go about this? One option is starting with vice presidency. If, say, J.D. Vance ran for president in 2028 and selected Trump as vice president, some supporters have suggested he could immediately resign, leaving the current president to take back the job. It's been argued that whilst the Constitution bans being elected for a third term, it doesn't say anything about becoming president through succession. Now, NBC asked about this, and Trump admitted that's one method, but they also asked him to share any other plans he might have, and the president simply said no.
No one could have imagined that Trump would want to be president for a third term. In a recent interview, U.S. President Donald Trump said he was not kidding and was considering seeking a third term as president. When asked about this possibility, Trump said many people wanted him to do so and hinted that there was a way to circumvent the constitutional limit on the presidential term. In the interview, Trump mentioned that although the U.S. Constitution clearly stipulates that the president can only be re-elected once at most, he claimed that there are still feasible ways to achieve a third term. When asked if there were any specific plans or circumvention measures, Trump did not give a clear answer, but just repeated that there is a way to do it. He also emphasized that his approval rating in the polls is high, and many voters asked him to continue to govern. However, from a realistic point of view, Trump's idea is almost impossible to achieve. The U.S. Constitution clearly stipulates that the president can only be re-elected once at most, unless the Constitution is amended, which requires broad support from Congress and the states. At present, no one has publicly supported Trump's idea, so do you think it is possible for Trump to run for a third term as president?
So Donald Trump, the convicted felon insurrectionist, is once again suggesting very openly that he might run again for a third term. Now, I did a video about this on YouTube yesterday, dealing with the constitutionality of various ways that he might attempt to stay in office. But that said, I think people are taking the bait here by freaking out over this. It's one thing to discuss what this jackass says, But to take it too seriously and freak out about it is ridiculous. Let me give you one example. People are suggesting that, he could get around the 22nd Amendment by running as vice president with J.D. Vance, and then J.D. Vance wins the election, becomes president, and then resigns, and therefore Donald Trump becomes president without violating the 22nd Amendment, which simply prohibits someone from being elected president more than twice. So in this case, he wouldn't have been elected president. He would have been elected vice president and then became president because the president resigned and he just took his place. That is absurd to think that that might actually happen. Just think of it. Someone like J.D. Vance running for president, running for the Republican nomination, running for president, winning, being sworn in as president, and then just giving it all away and resigning. Do you really think that anyone would ever do that? No, of course not. It's ridiculous. So, you could talk about these things, but don't get carried away.
There is just absolutely no line that Donald Trump will not cross. And today he has told NBC News that he's not ruling out running for a third term as president. In fact, he said there is multiple methods in which he could do that. One of them being where J.D. Vance runs for president, Trump runs as his running mate as vice president, and then if Vance wins, he immediately steps down and resigns and makes Trump the president again. This is crazy. This is just one of the methods they are citing. They are saying there are others, but Trump himself refused to comment on what the other methods would be. But do you think he should run for a third term? Do you think he can legally? Is this just a loophole in the Constitution that would allow him to gain a third term as president? Let me know what you guys think. But other things he's saying just in the last couple days is that he would not rule out military force to take over Greenland. He is completely serious about this. Even Russian President Vladimir Putin has come out and said that Trump is extremely serious about taking over Greenland and that Russia will protect their territory in that region. Like, what? We are not a country that invades and takes over our allies' territory. Like, what is going on here? Do you guys not get this? Like, am I the only one that thinks this is absolutely, completely insane? The other thing he has done is he has said that he could care less if foreign automakers raise prices on cars here due to his tariffs. And he says the tariffs are locked in now and going forward. We'll see if he actually sticks with that. But expect car prices to go up, especially if you're looking into buying a foreign car. If these tariffs go in place, they will go up in price.
Guys, could he actually be president again? Because the 22nd Amendment blocks a third term. The Constitution says no one can be elected president more than twice. But it doesn't exactly say a two-term president cannot become vice president or take over through succession. Right? Guys. Because no two-term president has ever tried this. But do you think it would work? I think the legal battles would be insane. Opponents would sue. Because this actually violates the 22nd Amendment. And if this actually happens, it will just be like other countries with leaders that never leave power. I'm sure you know the countries that I mean. And it will be the end of fair elections in America. Right? Because Trump hinting at wanting a third term. Because people are now seem to be sneaking and floating ways to sneaking back into power. But would America actually let this happen? Or do you think that we are heading towards a constitutional crisis? Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think this is just speculation? Or do you think it's a real plan that is in the making, that they're just looking for ways to bring into manifestation? Let me know what you think in the comment section. I want to hear from you. Do you support this notion, this hint at going for the third term? or you don't. This is really insane, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'll see you in my next video. Please don't forget to stay safe. Ciao.